finally to a better spot, I think. Although it doesn't feel like a good spot because I'm sitting on the edge of a drop off like usual. But I got this daggum landslide I gotta clean up. It all sloughed in from over there. That's just muddy crap that we're working with. But you can see it's sitting on good clay, and I'm down to good clay all the way down the pond here. So what I've done is where I'm sitting, I'll jump out and show you, but my knee hurts, I don't feel like walking. Where I'm sitting is on top a clay pad that I built up by baling dirt out of there. As I was baling my way backwards moving mud, I also grabbed some clay and put it here. So I've got a good solid clay base now. I dug down to clay and then put clay back on top of clay. So I'm fixing to drive off these mats. But as I go, I've got to go real easy and get all this muck and crap out of the way. It's a pretty steep hole. I'm going to be going down about 8 feet. So I've got to try to make real sure as I go that the clay underneath me doesn't try to do something funny. I don't expect it to, but I've got to try to get down in this hole and then over to that side, and then I'll start baling dirt back. I'll fill all of it in and I'll build my ramp up a lot better. That is my goal for today, is to get down in the bottom of this pond and get a whole bunch of clay baled back. Ha! Success! Nerve-wracking success, but success nonetheless. We're down in the pond. We're totally off the mats. So I'm gonna get my thumb flipped out, or flipped back, since I'm not using it. I'm gonna get some of this muck dredged out of here, get all this concentrated to one drain point, and then start baling back clay. Once I get all concentrated to one drain point, pump it out, start baling back clay. My goal by the end of the day is to have all of this in here all be a solid stockpile of clay and have a deep end on the far end of the pond. That's what I'm working towards. So hopefully I get this thumb flipped out. I'm on solid ground now. Maybe we can pick things up a little bit, see how she goes. Well, a little progress update, if you can see through the shadow there. Got a heck of a pit. I'm down about, say 12 to 15 feet tops. I'm starting to hit the boundary between the red clay and the whitish gray clay they call caliche, or I think it's called caliche. But I've been stockpiling all this clay back, just like I told you I would, and so I am actually back up above grade level now. I'm above grade, parked on clay, which is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I've got about a third of it in there I still can't get because I've got this little trench of sludge along the side, and honestly, it's, you know, I can go in, I can get back in and undercut it to get more out of there eventually. Right now I've dug down to hard red clay right there in this little puddle. I'm going to get it pumped out, and then I'm going to try to clean up all this sludge through here and get all this filled in with hard red clay. And then maybe I can work my way back out along or something to try to get more of that sludge off and down to more of the good red clay. Otherwise I'll have to wait until I can drive out on this levee and then shovel the sludge out to get it down. But that sludge, it's really not as much there as it looks like. It's just sitting right on top of that hard red clay. And on this side, I've got a lot I could take still too, but I don't want to make, I know he doesn't want the sides real steep. And if I take much more from that side, it wants to landslide in on me again. So I'm just going, really, I'm going as deep as I can, and he's told me he doesn't want his pond too deep, so in the end we're probably going to put a bunch of crap back in the bottom of it. But I'm trying to go as deep as I can for right now to collect as much of this good clay as I can to stockpile it, just while we got the opportunity. I'm going to try to take some today and see if I can't go down his driveway a little bit and go ahead and build that up. That's kind of part of the offer that I said I would do for him. It shouldn't take any more than really maybe 20 bucketfuls for, you know, because he doesn't want it built up super high, just high enough that it sheds water. And it, right now, I mean, it's solid. We drove the tractor in on it, but it does have little puddles in it, so I want to try to get all the puddles out of it. But it's I think about 12:30, so I'm going to shut down, get some lunch. I'm going to get that pumped out. And all right, well, we got a little bit of everything going on now. Father-in-law's been trying to light the fire all day. It's kind of going. Not really. I've got a huge stockpile of clay I pulled back here, but what I have learned is that it's never enough. So walking up here to the edge of the hole now, I've got, oh, I suppose that drops down in there about 10, 12 feet. And it's all solid clay back to about the bucket of the excavator here. about 20 foot away. So I don't know what yardage that is. 10 by, I don't know, 10 by 40 by 20. Y'all can do the math on that. I'm not doing it right now, or this video will be too long. But I'm really aggravated that I've got all this that I didn't get. I want to try to get back down there and get it, but to do that I've got to break down a ramp here, and I don't think I'm ready to do that today. So we kind of changed gears. I've been baling some dirt back over here and spreading it down the driveway. I just switched off and let my father-in-law take over on the tractor. We're trying to get his driveway just about a foot of clay on it. It's actually got a solid base back from this summer when we were running in here with the tractor taking logs, so it's not actually soggy like the rest of this ground is to where you'll sink. You can run back and forth on it, but it's starting to get wet spots and ruts just from standing water that was on the surface. So I'm gonna try to keep setting him a bucket or two of clay over there when I can, and I'm gonna try to get my mats moved a little further over this way and just get more of this driveway coming in and established. I think that's how we're gonna finish the day. All right, well, we'll finish out the day this way. I think I already mentioned what I was gonna do. I baled back a bunch of dirt and stacked it up, or filled it all there. Pulled a little bit more out of the bottom of the pond, but I haven't got back down in the pond to break out that extra stuff left behind. But we spent the rest of the afternoon blading out this driveway here. I'd bale in a couple buckets of dirt with the excavator and then just drag it all forward with the tractor and the box blade. It ain't perfect, but it's had some mucky spots that kind of sunk and made ruts. Those will harden up in a day, and then we'll blade them back off. But this is just kind of a little turnaround area that he already had. So since I had cut ruts into it, I went in and shoved some mud into it, or shoved some clay into it, I'm sorry. Took out a dead standing tree, Widowmaker, got that down. But yeah, we've added about, I don't know, 8 inches to a foot, 6 inches somewhere in here, on the driveway here of clay, good hard clay. And there was one more pothole out front here that I've got to get bladed out a little bit. It's too gooey. Every time I try to blade through it, I leave ruts. So I'm gonna come out backwards with the tractor and float my bucket across it for the end of the day, and hopefully a day or two it'll set up. It's hard underneath, but you can see, like right here, there's that snotty gray clay. So it's just not letting me pack it real hard. It wants to goop around, so it just needs to dry for a day or two and get rebladed. It'll be good. It'll be as solid as everything else. Anyway, really happy to have this part of the driveway up and done. There shouldn't be any low spots anymore, at least not lower than grade. So now with that done, I'm able to get the excavator back into this access without worrying about cutting big ruts or getting stuck. Of course, it's Friday, which means we got the mats till at least Monday, but that gives me all weekend to get them cleaned up and ready. And then we'll see about getting them out of here. I think we'll get them out of here Monday morning. Get those off rent, because everything I can do now, I think I can do with the excavator. All right, so I'm making a plan for today. I'm gonna bust me down a ramp here, get back down in the bottom of the pond again. I'm gonna get out on the far end and dig a trash hole, basically a waste hole. And then I'm gonna get all this slop into that waste hole. As I do, I'll get all the rest of this clay and bale it back. That's my plan. I want to get at least that much done. Oh, gosh, I just never feel like it's enough clay here. I'm gonna at least get all that much done. Anyway, for today, let's get this ramp down first, and let's see what we can do in the bottom of the pond here. Okay, so I got back down here in the bottom, and I dug a deep hole out on the far end, and it's kind of a sacrificial hole. I got what good clay out of it I could. There's plenty more to take, but again, I don't want to go too deep, just because I know this guy doesn't want his pond really deep. But I'm going basically as deep as I think I need to, and then I'm taking this sludge right here and just wiping it off, because it's on hard clay right here. So I'm just wiping all this sludge off with the side of my bucket, shoving it down into this hole, and that's just where it'll stay. So that's kind of the end of the pond, if you will. That's the most we're gonna dig. I'm gonna try to shove as much mud into this hole as I can to get it away from me, and then I'll be scooping out what good clay is here and behind, and I can take more good clay from in front of me here and keep bailing back again. But just thought I'd show you guys the little landslide waterfall action I had going on there. All right, well, I feel a little better about that anyway. It probably doesn't look to you guys a whole lot different than yesterday, at least the pile up top. But it's got to be more, because I brought more up here. So I got back down in, and you remember I had the whole swath over here that had muddy muck on top of it I didn't get yesterday. I went out to the far end, I dug a deep, deep hole, and all that loose that you see right there is all that muck and crap that I managed to kind of shovel and just bulldoze with the side of the bucket, and managed to bring it all around into that deeper hole, and then just did like I did yesterday, backed away from it and digging out all the good clay here and baling it behind me. So it's kind of fun. You know, people say you can't dig your way out of a hole, but I beg to differ, because that's exactly what I did. You can see my ramp is gone now. I need about, I don't know, 50 feet worth of length, and I'll stack dirt on one side behind me, then get up on top of it, and stack dirt on the other side, get up on top of it, and sit there and flip back and forth. And I know that's nothing new for pro operators. They know what I'm talking about, but makes me feel cool anyway. Oh, ow, doggone, that one's stuck. Can't get it out. So is that one down there. Anyway, that's it for baling clay. Yeah, a lot of muck to clean up.